Hello viewers, well it's finally here, launch trailer for F1 2020. Let's take a look.
I'm a champion. I'm a champion.
So, launch trailer for F1 2020. Wonderfully polished experience, isn't it now? I mean, when you think of where we've come from and where we've been and where we're going with Formula One, it's great to see, to see the detail in the car models, the way they move with the physics, the camera views that are authentic to the real racetracks now, just the general movement and lighting and textures. I think lighting on track surface and general texture detail, how things have improved this generation and where we're looking forward to the next generation as well. Tremendously exciting seeing it all come together, and I'm always appreciative of it. It's what keeps my job fresh in terms of covering these games every year. Is yes, we're covering Formula One every year. Yes, the changes are sometimes small, but there's always changes happening in all of these annual games, and it's very difficult for these developers to make something every year. They plan years in advance what new features there's going to be, and for people like myself as a critic, it sometimes feels harsh because I understand the development process in terms of what these developers are up against, but at the same time you have to always look at where a game is, and I think in this world of influencers and publications that have various experience of the genre, we just kind of try and see a clear path on the way through it, where we've been and where we're going, to see that ultimate F1 game that we all want and that we know the developers can see as well. And I might look back a bit more at F1 in the next sort of few days, but it's nice to see this all coming together. Now, we had a great Grand Prix last weekend. Austria, again, I say a great Grand Prix. It was the race itself would probably have been terrible with the Mercedes lapping virtually the entire field had it not been for safety car. So I do bear in mind that the Mercedes are in a different race to everyone else. Don't think, anyone can win the championship. It's completely open. It's really not at the moment. The Mercedes are head and shoulders above everybody in the field, and had there not been a safety car to catch them out and the engine issues, they would have been gone. So I think really this year it's between Bottas and Hamilton, whatever happens, and I would like to see Valtteri take it to Lewis this year, because he's had to get into this team. He's been asked to pull over for Lewis to win a championship there, and I feel now he needs to be allowed to go for it, and I hope he can this year. It certainly doesn't seem like there's enough competition in terms of, yes, Max was doing well last week, but I mean, even with that strategy, the Mercedes does seem a quicker car. The Mercedes is likely to be apparently still struggling a little bit with their engine sensors and stability of the car this weekend, so we'll see how that comes together. And also we're hearing about the addition of Mugello and Sochi Grand Prix. Now let's talk a bit about Mugello first. Now, Codemasters have said Mugello won't feature in the game. They won't be adding any more courses. I think that's a bit of a shame. I think it would be really nice if Codemasters, even as a paid DLC, said, right, we're going to release, if Mugello is the only new course, it's one new course, wouldn't it be wonderful to have, and they said, right, we're going to have that one new course, all the tracks in order in a championship. We've already got them made and built. I mean, I don't know how difficult the UI can be. It's using a standard UI. It's one track, however long it takes to build that one track. As a paid DLC, you could even have later car models introduced in that as well, and any additional elements to the cars. I think that'd be a really nice end of season pack that they could do as a special. I think something like that would work this year. A bit like a FIFA having FIFA 98 and then 6 months later you got FIFA World Cup. It's a bit cheeky, but they did it on FIFA. You can do it on Formula 1. It's a one-off Corona edition. Mugello is I'm probably going to be showing a bit of MotoGP when I'm talking about Mugello. I love Mugello. I raced it a lot in Forza Motorsport 2. I've raced it in other Forza games. I've raced it a lot in MotoGP, and it's a wonderful flowing circuit. It has some great corners to it: mid-speed, high-speed, committed corners, mid-apexes, late apexes. For me, as Formula 1 cars go, it's pretty difficult to overtake there. The core issue that's going to prevent overtaking is going to be how close cars can follow in the corner before the overtaking corner. There are 2 overtaking spots on the circuit in theory. There's the top of the hill into the slow chicane. That would require cars following each other through 1, 2, 3, 4 corners really. So cars with good downforce and good grip could follow each other there. Then you have the long main straight. And again, you've got a chicane before the final corner. It really depends how close cars can stay in the dirty air through the final corner. It's quite an open corner. So there's actually a couple of lines there. So it might be possible to actually come out of that last corner quite well at good speed. It's a nice long straight. And then, of course, you'll need to be hard on the braking at the end of it, and there's not much margin for braking, as we know with these cars. But I think there's definitely opportunities to overtake there. Certainly if you're on better tyres and if there's a couple of safety cars, there's a lot that can happen. Just interesting to see what people go with. Do they go with a higher downforce setup for the twisty bits, or a low downforce setup, which will struggle in the twisty obviously, but give them good speed down the straight, but may knacker their tyres sooner? I don't know. I think Mugello's a good circuit. Sochi as well. Sochi, isn't it? It's a bit boring. It's a bit of a procession. Not much really happens there. It's dull to look at. You have the odd moment of excitement. Maybe the beginning. Maybe there'll be a comings together in a safety car. But that's about it. It doesn't really offer that much more in terms of racing action. And the season grows a bit more. And we'll see what happens. They're trying to get the season done as quickly as possible. And it's as I say, it really is now up to Red Bull and Ferrari to develop their cars as quickly as possible to try taking the fight to Mercedes. I hope they can, but I can tell you based on what I saw last weekend, it's not that close. But that's me having a bit of a ramble. We might be doing an F1 podcast. I've had a few people ask about my old F1 podcast years ago, or videos I used to do. I enjoyed it at the time, but what happened was that some people got really critical. If I was particularly defensive of Lewis at the time, and I just said to myself one day, this just isn't fun. If I can't speak freely about all the drivers and how I see things, and it's not fun to me, then it's not worth me doing it. I do this because I enjoy it. So we might be bringing it back. So I'll wait and see in the next few days what we're going to be doing. If not, I might just do my podcast. The difference with doing a podcast chat is I'm sitting there making notes through the whole race. I'm not just watching the race. I can't just sit there and chill out and watch it. I'm making notes all the time. So yeah, I think I'll have a think about it and decide what I want to do, if I'm going to commit to doing something like that. It would just help if we weren't so, well, I hate to say the word shadow banned on YouTube, but if you type in F1 2020, nothing for VV, nothing comes up on YouTube. Literally nothing we produce on F1 comes up. So the only people who will see it are those of you listening, the 1,000 or 2,000 views that will see this video at the most. And that's because you're subscribed to the channel and you've been around for a long time. Anyone new to Formula 1 won't find the video unless we get some of you guys to help us sharing it and getting it out there, because it's really just not happening for us on YouTube and YouTube searches when it comes to F1 content these days. There's about 4 or 5 YouTubers that they're promoting heavily, and other than that, The rest of us are just, it's like we don't exist. So any support there, do like and subscribe. And if you do like the content we do as well, support the Patreon or become a YouTube member. I've got to say, all of that is a massive help. And I'm trying to decide what to do in terms of, I'm going to come back on another video about our plans for YouTube and Patreon membership and all that kind of stuff. But that's it from me for now. I had a bit of a ramble today, and there'll be more from me very soon. Hello viewers, well thanks for watching the video today. Do like and subscribe, it supports what we do. Do become a YouTube member. YouTube Patreon supports all of our content you see on the channel, and of course lots of gaming from retro to modern games. I love it all in terms of racing action. So click on one of the two videos just there to find out more.